Kale is a leafy green vegetable that belongs to the Brassica family, which also includes veggies like cabbage, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. Depending on the variety, these can taste earthy to even slightly bitter. Some of the varieties that you might find at the markets or grocery stores are curly kale, Licinto kale, also called as dinosaur kale, and red Russian kale. All varieties of kale are easy to grow, vigorous, nutritious, resistant to cold, easy to harvest, as well as easy to prepare. Talk about an all-rounder. Did you know the greens even get sweeter after frost? But what can we do with this versatile vegetable in the kitchen? Kale has a sturdy texture which makes it useful in several different recipes. You can use the tender leaves in salads, give them a quick saute with garlic, or add it to stir-fries, omelets, soups, stews, even swap them in pestos. Clearly, I love kale. You can also steam it or put it in your baked goods. Today we will prepare this farm-fresh kale that hasn't lost its nutrients because it did not sit thousands of kilometers in transit in all its glory and simplicity. We will chop kale, saute it with some olive oil, shallots, garlic, and black pepper, and finish with a squeeze of lemon or lime to brighten it up. The lime or lemon also amplifies the nutritional benefit in the kale because it makes the iron easier to digest. We can serve the sauteed kale as a side, throw it on top of rice or quinoa, add some toasted veggies and nuts to make it a warm, scrumptious salad. Now let's talk about what to do with that abundance of kale so we can enjoy it in the winter as well. I used to freeze kale after blanching and steaming, but in the last few years, I have switched to freezing it raw. Yes, raw. So let's see how we can get the kale into the freezer quicker with minimum effort. I choose whole leaves, but you can de-stem it if you don't like the hardy stem. I personally throw them in curries and stews in the winter. I love the texture of the stem. You start by washing and drying the leaves. Then you have the option of freezing them into one big chunk where you simply pack the leaves as densely as possible into freezer bags, which is what I have done today. Then, when you need it, you pull it out of the freezer. You can easily break off the chunks of this frozen kale and crush them into your pot of stew. No chopping required. Alternatively, you can freeze individual leaf, spread on a cookie sheet, pre-freeze them in the freezer, and then pack them into containers. That way, you will be easily able to pull out individual leaves as needed.